and welcome to Radical Underdogs. We're going into race 2. There is a video on race 1 and you can go back and watch that. We're going into race 2 at Brands Hatch on a drying circuit.
Fierce tiny hand. There we go.
Race 2.
And thank you to Azam for telling us we're on race 2. The lights are on and they are off, and it is a good start. Look, we're passing Amy Barker on the right, and we're going past potentially also Owen Woodward's in car 68 as well, and potentially also car 18 Matthew Goddard as well. So we're going up potentially 3 or 4 places into the first corner. Druids got 550. Thomas Mallet ahead of us. That has been an excellent start, one of the best all year. But Matthew Goddard's coming back on. He's coming back at us and around the outside. He goes all the way around the outside and potentially takes a few other places as well. We switched to the outside because all the cars were stacking up on the inside, and now we are settling into that position, I think. So we've got 550 ahead of us. That's Thomas Mallet. And we're going through for the first time down at Graham Hill Bend. So Cooper Straight, got a good run down the Cooper Straight and down into Surtees for the first time. This is the first time it's really been properly dry this weekend. So testing out the lines, it is in fact flat out through there in a Mazda MX-5. But we are settling in now for the run. This is a very short lap at the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. We're now already back on the start-finish straight. We're losing a bit of ground on the straight. We're not really picking up that slipstream. We're not close enough, and it looks like Thomas ahead of us is. So, but fortunately, we've got a bit of space behind us. Anyway, down into Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Well, first time at full racing speed anyway. But it looks like the cars are all fighting up ahead, and if you do start fighting at Brands Hatch, you start losing a lot of time. And Thomas has lost a lot of time, and we're going to be down on the inside, but it's going to be the outside for Graham Hill Bend. Can we do it on the outside of Graham Hill Bend? The car brakes, the car locks up, and we're round the outside at Graham Hill Bend. That's got to be one of the best passes I've done all year, really. That's excellent. So anyway, through Surtees again, and down McLaren and Clark curve. Thomas is actually going to be, he was faster than us last race, I think, so he will be coming back at us later in this race. So it is now going to be a bit of a defensive drive, I think, unless we can get ahead of cars that end up doing the same sort of thing and end up fighting and losing time. So down into Paddock Hill Bend now. And actually, you'll notice that I'm actually a bit slower through Paddock Hill Bend a lot of the time, but not this time. I'm down the outside of Matthew Goddard now into Druids, but I don't think that's going to work. And actually, Thomas Mallet in the car behind is getting pretty close as well. Is there a move to be done down the inside of Graham Hill Bend? No, backs out of it and going to settle in now, I think. That was getting quite close, and actually you can see the field is actually still quite bunched up together, so there are potentially options for doing, almost losing it there as we go through, but yeah, as I say, there's probably an option here for maybe getting a good place out of this race. And we're back down the start-finish straight, and we're going to skip ahead actually, and we can see that Thomas is a lot closer. I've had a bad exit out of Clark Curve, and he's side by side down the Bradman Straight, side by side into turn 1 into Paddock Hill Bend, but actually I managed to brake a little bit later. Now I need to stick it through Paddock Hill Bend, fighting the car a bit, but actually keeping it in a straight line, and Thomas is going on the outside of Druids. I'm covering that move off, and he's having his own troubles now with cars behind him having a go. So that is the one thing about going defensive, and you can see how far Goddard has got away from us in front. So that was a bit of pressure there, and we're going to skip ahead again, and I think it's in another bad exit out of Clark Curve and down the straight, but it looks like there's a bit of battling going on behind us side by side through Paddock Hill Bend. Pushed all the way out wide. I'm going to need to go defensive. I've not got a good run, and that is Neil Chisnell in car 67 making his way through, or is he? And we're back side by side. He's got the inside line, which in theory should be the faster line. Yeah, and it is through Graham Hill Bend, and we're going to skip ahead again. And again, we've got a bit of gap behind us, but as I said earlier, I have been a bit slow through Paddock Hill Bend, and as you can see, losing a bit of time by braking a bit early. Maybe a bit too conservative there, and actually that's given Thomas a run up around the outside of Druids, but it's not going to work this time. I covered the defensive line, and it actually goes a bit wide. You could hear the car struggling for grip, and again through Graham Hill, the car's concertinaing up, but no major threat there at the moment. But as you can see, the cars behind are bunching up a bit. There are a few cars that were out of position that started this race towards the back of the grid because of the wet race in the last time. Where actually Tommy's having a go in the last corner here, McLaren Clark curve, but no, not this time round. But it does look like he's going to come under pressure from the cars behind, and he's definitely got a good run this time down the start-finish straight, and I'm not sure there's much I can do to defend. I'm just going to have to take the inside line, and it is side by side through Paddock Hill Bend, and Thomas Mallet is going to make his way through, and also coming up, because I was going so defensive, very closely behind is Dan Blake in car 27, and actually car 5 and Kevin Dengate in 778 going around. Actually, we're going to be side by side with Kevin down into Graham Hill Bend, and that has been a disastrous couple of corners. That is 3 places in the space of 3 corners. That was not good. So going from some good defensive moves earlier in the race to a pretty disastrous set of corners, although we're still in it, of course. So it's now time to fight back, I think. Some of those cars were working their way through, having been a bit out of position. So car 5, Nick Ledoyen, and 778, Kevin Dengate. So we need to try and stick with them now as we're going down the start-finish straight. We seem to be getting a poor exit out of Clark Curve, and then maybe we've got a bit of a lack of straight line speed. Maybe we need to get this car out to the dyno maybe during the off-season. But here we go again through Paddock Hill Bend. The cars up ahead are fighting, so maybe there is potential. We're going to have to go defensive. I can see Dan Blake having a look and sticking it in the middle of the road. There's no way through, and it looks like Graham Rumsey there in the turquoise car is also making his way back through and making life difficult there for Dan as we go through Graham Hill Bend. Definitely going to have to try and be a bit defensive. So all that defensive battling means there's no chance of getting up to the cars in front, who are obviously still fighting. And flat out we go through Surtees and trying to make up some time there, but actually we're also having to be a bit defensive, covering off that inside line through the last complex of corners. Not quite the same as in the wet, where there's absolutely no grip on the inside. Not the same in the dry, and the track is pretty much entirely dry. There are some still damp bits on the circuit, but not causing us any major issues. Going to have to go defensive now into Paddock Hill Bend. Graham Rumsey and Dan Blake looking for a way past and looking for a way past each other, and managing to fend them both off. I'm going to have to maybe think about going defensive. No, Graham Rumsey thinks the door's open, but I don't think I think he's too far back for that move. And we settle in now for the run down to Graham Hill Bend. It looks like I've defended the position successfully. And we're going to skip forward again, I think, and this time we're going to be coming up against some traffic here. They're not getting the blue flags necessarily, so we're going to have to get past without losing too much time. You can see that I've caught up to the cars in front through the traffic, but actually no blue flags. I'm just going to have to go through and hope they see me on the inside here. And actually that was successfully done, and actually didn't lose too much time. And Graham Rumsey still sort of a decent way behind us, nicely putting out of the way and waving cars through there. That was a good bit of driving from the guys letting us through. And again, there's another back marker, so blue flags. I don't think the blue flags are out actually, but the car in front is definitely having a struggling getting back. You can see how much time you lose if you don't get past straight away. And actually through Clark Curve we go, and potentially there's a chance now to get a good run if we're able to pick up the slipstream and also get past the lapped car down into Paddock Hill Bend. But Graham Rumsey's thinking the same thing. He's managed to catch up as well. He's having a go down Paddock. This is the last lap of the race, and having to defend like crazy. This is a bit of a pattern established here. But actually, I think we've got a good chance of getting potentially the car in front as well. So down through Druids, we go, and actually this is, as you can see from the lap timer, 2 tenths up on my fastest lap so far, so really got the bit between my teeth going through Graham Hill Bend, and there's a good run now. Well, potentially got a good run down into the last complex of corners, but we haven't been great through them, to be honest, so we're going to just to try and stick it through. And you can see Graham's also pushing really hard behind, and he's going to try and get a good run off the last corner. This is his last chance, last throw of the dice. He is quite close, so we're going to be side by side, potentially over the line. This is the last lap of the race. We're going up, down, and it looks like we're going to keep the position down the start-finish straight. And we do take the checkered flag. Yeah, that is extremely close with Graham Rumsey going through after the checkered flag. That was a good race, and we're going to go back to past Will to talk you through what's going to happen next in this series. But if you have made it this far, then please do click the like button, and if you haven't already, do click subscribe. It does actually help the channel grow, and we'll hope to do a bit of that over the winter. Thank you for watching Radical Underdogs. That was I think a 15th place, but we're not quite sure yet until the results come out. That is the last race of the season. We'll be doing testing over the winter, might get a few videos out. But until then, catch you again next time.